Today's edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox is brought to you by Gulfstream Park.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another Friday Fun Day edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live from 10 Palms at Gulfstream Park. It's a fabulous winter premier racing championship meet day, and Jeff Defo DeForest, I don't know if you saw it, but downstairs they're doing a fundraiser for the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. It's a worthwhile cause.
Yeah, very nice.
There's an assemblage of jockey talent
Wow.
that well, if you put them all together, they might weigh as much as I do these days. But
I don't
besides
know about that, I mean, these guys are great. The names you ticked off, I mean, the Pirates there, my favorite of all time. Jerry Bailey, who I had a very cool relationship with over the many years. He started out here in South Florida, of course, as an apprentice jockey at Calder, and evolved to, you could consider him among the best ever, if not the best. Yeah, you had some real dignity. Pat Day, the Lubie lookalike.
Pat Day, Mike Lubitz's doppelganger. You've got Lafitte Picaille. I assume he's the pirate.
The pirate, yeah.
Yeah,
Lafitte.
that's, well, he looks, resembles.
The pirate could have easily been a bantamweight champion of the world. He always weighed $117.
He looks great.
He is so strong, this guy. And it was him and Shoemaker when I was out in California. And they had a great jockey colony, like Eddie De La Houssaye's number 10.
Alex Solis is downstairs. He was
I love
part of
Alex
that West
Solis.
Coast jockey.
Yeah.
The
Well, he
McCarran,
started here also.
the
Alex
McCarran
Solis.
brothers, I
Yeah.
think, are down there. Greg and Chris. And
Yeah,
Chris
McCarran was brilliant.
and Greg used to be
Wow.
the on-horse reporter for NBC's
How long
coverage.
is that going on for? I want to get down there.
He would always say, back to you, Bob, when Bob Newmeyer was the host in his
Newmeyer was great, by the way. What a great guy.
And also down there,
Did you know him in Boston when you were there?
Newmy, I knew very tangentially. I was just
Okay.
a little scrub intern, and he was a nice enough guy, but I worked for the competing station as an intern, ABC affiliate with Mike Lynch, and Newmy was on the NBC affiliate.
He was great with horse racing, though. He
Yeah,
really was.
He was, and he was king of the pick sixes. He actually hit
He
he
hit a
was
bunch
part
of
of some syndicates that hit
I'll give you an
six-figure-
oddball one with pick sixes here. And there's an odd fact. There was a guy named John Hall who had the sporting distinction of being the coach of the L.A. Thunderbirds of roller derby fame. And John Hall was famous for not only hitting one pick six early on, when a pick six was like such an exotic bet that it was like, oh my God, you know somebody that hit a pick six? And he had taken down two, six-figure pick sixes in Los Angeles.
Well,
John Hall, the coach of the L.A. Thunderbirds, if you can imagine.
I've hit a bunch of pick fives in my life. Some of my biggest scores were pick fives. I've never hit a pick six, but I'm sitting next to a man, Ken the Professor, who right now is having trouble picking one. What's happening,
Oh, my God.
Professor?
He's fine.
I'm
What are you
on
talking about? Yeah.
Okay. So Wednesday night, I've got UConn plus 1.5 in college hoops.
I'm going to eat my soup while you tell your
They
loser
get the ball.
story.
Loser tales.
Get the ball down one with 40 seconds left. So, shoot, rebound off of Villanova. We get the ball back, 20 seconds left. Shot blocked, goes out of bounds on Villanova. Get the ball back, like down 14 seconds left. Kid Caravan drives to the hole, gets fouled with 2.6 seconds left. We're down one, 2 free throws. I'm like, good, bang, bang, going to hit them both. Not enough time for Villanova to do anything except chuck from half court. I'm golden. 81% career free throw shooter. Not only misses both, but throws up 2 stones off the back of the rim.
Oh, my God.
The first one, I think, bounced into the 4th row.
I think there was any hanky-panky. So
I misses the second one, and Villanova grabs the rebound. And instead of doing what they should do is throw the ball down court and let the clock run out, win by 1, and I still cover, they call timeout, get fouled, make the free throw.
are we still on Wednesday night, by
That's
the way?
Wednesday night.
This
Oh,
is the
my
one
God.
game.
I'm exhausted.
Last night I had Penn State. Everybody saw what happened. James
It looked
Franklin
like they
is a
were gonna,
moron. His quarterback is quite possibly the stupidest person on earth.
Turned into Vinny Testaverde there at the end. I don't know what happened if he saw the wrong
Sappy
color.
Joseph
jerseys.
sighting, by the way.
Oh, there we go. We got
Yeah.
it.
And then when I get here,
Championship
Lubie informs me that the Hurricanes have signed Carson Beck because what could possibly go wrong with an ugly celebrity in the city of Miami. What could possibly get distracted?
And I'm so with it in terms of sports that I was like, who's Carson Beck? It sounded like, I don't know, some love child between two Instagram and TikTok influencers or something like that.
You talk about distractions.
All right, first
Like
of all,
Mark Anthony got married to J-Lo, ugly celebrity, getting distracted. And Carson Beck already looks like meth head Mark Anthony.
I'll show you a picture of him.
meanwhile, did we order enough food, Lubie? I'm about to keel
I'm
over
curious to
here.
see the fate of these empanadas because it's always a professor thing.
Well, this was not me, but everything else is stuff
Yeah.
that I guarantee will be gone by the time
Yours-
the show's over.
But you guys are
Ken
going to
just
battle
threw
over
that in 'cause
those.
we
are you
love
not?
He's got the chicken wings. He's got pasta penne. He's got the empanadas. He's got the honey hot chicken sandwiches. He's got a Reuben. I've got the Italian wedding soup, and I also have.
Are we really at a racetrack and you're naming off these dishes?
that's what's
That's
funny.
strange,
I'm supposed to go for another 6-month checkup, tune-up next week. I've got to get my blood work done, and I'm not looking forward
Good
to
luck
it,
with that.
especially with all this. But meanwhile, how
Your
classy!
doctor is
How
your
classy!
doctor is watching the show and is setting up offshore bank accounts.
I
make
don't
sure
have
you get
Medicare yet,
taxed on
so
it.
they're
You know,
not
it's
going to get
weird.
rich
They,
off
they don't
me.
even send this thing to like some laboratory. They send it to Ken Palm to analyze his blood.
Look at these classy little salt and pepper. They're not even shakers; they're grinders. This is the level of culinary advancement that Joe Beja has.
I never noticed those on my way
elevated
to the
Gulfstream.
windows. So,
But yeah, I
As
mean,
I
I
was pouring over
love
the
when you
form.
can like just fresh grind some
Look at you.
pepper and putting that in my Italian wedding soup.
Now, in the
And-
gambling venue clubhouse community, do you think Joe Beja is just like bitterly despised?
Yes.
Do you think like the
Yeah.
guy at
Who
Magic
compares
City
to him? Yeah, exactly.
is looking at this place and go, what the hell did he do? Where did this guy set this freaking bar?
Why does he have freedom
Yeah.
and we don't?
Look at that table.
Joe is a friend to all, and he's very well regarded. He used to work at the Lowe's down in South Beach, so he knows a lot of people around town. And I imagine even the rival pari-mutuel culinary, hospitality directors begrudgingly admire Joe and say, I've got to do that at my place. I wish they would give me the budget.
You hope.
Yeah. But meanwhile, we've got the Pegasus coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be 2 weeks from tomorrow. And
are you
besides,
going to actually make that the contest race that day?
yeah, of
I would
course.
hope so.
Yeah, the Pegasus Classic. I don't
All
know
right.
what the purse is, but it's up there. But more than just the horse racing day, it's a day. It's become a real like pageantry day in terms of getting people in who maybe don't ordinarily hang out at a racetrack. So lots of beautiful men and women and going around and checking out the food scene. And Joe's going to talk about all the kinds of stuff that he's got going on that day. Some major hospitality players like Groot from Miami that has a couple of those.
No,
club
he's responsible
restaurants.
for the food and the sweets and everything. Also,
Yes.
I mean he's responsible for all of it,
For all
right?
of Gulfstream.
He oversees
Because
everything.
what a wide variety of people you have to kind of
Please,
take
yes.
into account here.
Especially on
You got the
Pegasus
guys
Day.
downstairs that are just hoping to scrape together a couple of dollars so they can buy a pretzel,
Yeah,
and then you got the people up there in the suites that
yeah.
I mean we're talking high-end celebrities.
Well, and then
on
he
the
also
Pegasus.
oversees the restaurants. He talks about the restaurants that are coming in and
Third
and
floor.
going out. He's there.
Third floor has the catering
Go-between.
operations, and of course he does the those monthly taste at the track events, which there's going to be one coming up in February. We'll talk to him about that as well. But meanwhile, we're just surrounded by good food and friendship.
We've been eating
camaraderie.
heavily lately,
Yep.
Mayo. I've noticed this.
Yes, I have.
I mean, not you so much. I mean, you're fairly consistent in this regard, but I mean, Louie and I have just been shoveling food in our faces the last few days. Here
been
on the
hanging
show.
out with me too much. That's
Oh,
the
my
problem.
God.
That's
Look,
definitely an issue.
Who it is, the one and only.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, look at this guy.
So,
Dave
The
Joseph.
elder one.
Meanwhile, I know Ken's running bad because I came in and he was telling me all these sob
We
stories.
only got to
and
the
I was
Wednesday
like,
game, yeah.
it's time to just change it up. He was saying he took a shot at some roulette over at the Hard Rock when he was getting redeeming one of those giveaways that they do for some
Most
of their loyal
expensive
players.
free stuff ever.
Yeah, that $50 gas card. How much did that cost? you?
$500.
$500.
$600
That's such a
toaster.
deal.
It's plastic on the outside. Yeah.
But you lost what, 6 or 7 spins of roulette in a row?
Consecutively.
Okay, and then I was like, Ken, you got to just do something completely stupid. Just go up to the window here, play your birthday in a box, like a $5 or $10 exacta box. And he goes, I can't. I have nothing left.
Hey, Indians got my money. I got
Tap
scalped.
out.
Jimmy, where's my
We
money?
call them Native Americans these days,
Right,
but
wow. You can call them that. I got tomahawk marks in my back.
The flaming arrow was the worst.
oh
That
my
hit you,
goodness!
man.
Hey, by the way, did I tell you I saw Julie Crone downstairs?
Yeah.
The only woman jockey to win a Triple Crown race. In,
What was it?
There was a women
Colonial
trainer.
something.
Colonial Affair, was
Yeah.
it, in the Belmont Stakes?
Yes.
I think 1990. But
Long time
Julie is looking good for her. Well, she's always been attractive, but she has blue hair now. So I don't know if that means that she's
She, like,
officially
older?
And Jerry
What
Bailey,
a
she's dying it.
Jerry Bailey has hair now, which he did a nice job with this.
I
No.
What a career she has had. Wins a Triple Crown and does the voice of Kermit the Frog. Like,
Julie, very nice. She used to spend winters down
That was
here.
at a time, though, when people were throwing daggers at female jockeys. I mean, she really, much like our dear friend Leslie Visser, pioneered a lot of things that happened with women in broadcasting and sports.
this is a bad week to be doing that.
Yeah, well, but I don't think she used the same methods as.
Now let's not go
But,
there at all.
But Julie Crone, I mean, there was a serious stigma about women in horse racing at that time, and she crossed a lot of these barriers.
Here's the thing I love about horse racing. Yes, it's very hard for women to break through, whether as jockeys, trainers,
And that
horse
time,
ownership.
yeah.
Well, horse ownership, if you're related to the Vanderbilts or a Secretariat's owner, of course, Penny Chen. But in terms of, the thing that makes horse racing, in my mind, the best sport, men and women are allowed to compete on an equal playing field. There's, yes, there are races for fillies and mares, but in terms of they're allowed, the female horses are allowed to compete against the top colts.
But you
And
don't
we
see it
saw
that
that.
often. You don't see
Well,
it that
we saw
often.
Torpedo Anna run against what's his name? Forte, the one that won last year's Florida Derby, in last year's Travers Stakes, and went head and head down the stretch. You've also seen Rachel Alexandra win the Preakness. So
was great.
it happens, and it's rare, but I love it because when you get a top female jockey like a Julie Crone or Rosemary Homemeister down here a long time.
Mary Russ. Don't forget about the great Mary Russ.
And I'm not insulting any of those people, but how much more entertaining would it have been if Julie Crone was like a Danica Patrick? If she got all these great
Running into
rides and
horses.
just started running into horses all the time.
The other
It's
beautiful
caused horse
thing,
Whacking the other
about
jockeys with the whip. Yeah, that would have been great.
the other beautiful thing about horse racing, it's not dependent on sponsors liking you because you're something different. It's depending on how you do it
Win or lose,
on
yep.
the horse.
That's it.
So if Julie kept falling off the horse, she would not get any rides in the afternoon.
Yeah, 100%.
She would maybe be just limited to working.
Again,
out in the morning.
I'm just saying,
No.
if there were a female jockey who was the female Danica Patrick jockey,
Yeah,
that would be wildly entertaining.
it would eliminate females ever from riding again. I would think.
Well,
Yeah.
I would think some men also have run some stupid races and also fallen
Been
off.
violent.
Don't-
You missed that this
I'm not
morning, though,
disagreeing.
when you were talking about Aaron Rodgers and how bizarre he is. Ken was with us on another show, and he had his famous big board, which is one of the great segments in sports, any type of broadcasting. And but the fact that he would get in a car and let Danica Patrick drive,
Again,
that's a higher risk category than taking fentanyl down in
I
Mexico.
don't really
area.
think it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's comparable, I would say. Not necessarily higher. But I mean, again,
How long is that going out for, though, Mike Mayo?
What's that?
How long will these guys be there?
Oh, well, it's a 2-day affair where they're raising money again for the
But like
permanent.
today, if you come out.
It's a 2-day affair raising money for the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. I do not know the answer to your question, so I'm going to
okay.
say,
That's why you've been dodging it.
yeah, I don't know. And isn't the thing we want most from media is honesty? You hate when people sensationalize or they say, I'm not guessing. I'm assuming they're down there for a couple of hours
Oh,
today.
great. Yeah, wow.
It seems like they're signing
I
some
love that when they do
programs.
that. I really
Nice,
do.
that's so
If
great.
again, it's a fundraiser, so in order to kind of
Yeah.
chat and get their autographs, you're going to have to kick in the kitty. I think it's a $25
Think
contribution.
about that. Jerry Bailey, Lafitte Pinkeye. I mean, the
Ramon
McCarran
Dominguez.
brothers.
You remember Ramon Dominguez?
I love Ramon Dominguez for a lot of reasons because a good friend of mine who was a radio sales guy at, I think it was at WIOD, it might have been QAM, but and he was always at the track, a gentleman named Steve Paris. So he's at the track every day. He's not selling anything, and he becomes a jockey agent, which was his first love. And his first jockey that he represented was the young apprentice, Ramon Dominguez.
Mhm.
So he takes Ramon up to Delaware Park. Dominguez establishes himself as a coming star. Of course, at that point, some New York jockey agent jumps in there and says, "Hey, you'll never make it with this guy." Unfortunately, he leaves my man Steve and goes on to a Hall of Fame career. But a lot of it was sparked by a good friend of mine who just took a bizarre leap of faith into a different business where he's still a jockey agent today. And so Ramon Dominguez is always a special place for me.
That's a tough racket being a jockey agent.
Yeah,
And we
yeah,
know,
I mean,
we
he's
knew
done-
a good one, Doug Bradar, who's now retired. And
Is he retired?
Doug and
I
Kate-
thought he was still going.
no, he's hung it up. And
What happened with Jimmy Graham?
I think that is no longer he no longer represents him. So I think Doug was always intending on retiring at a certain point, so he's there. But meanwhile, these jockeys tomorrow, I think they're going to be
What
up.
a game this is, though, huh?
I think they're going to be up on the third floor in that what they call the Flamingo
Room, nice.
and I think they're going to be having another fundraising function tomorrow where you could come out and meet them if you can't make it out here in the next couple of hours. Because
I believe it's Rita Santos, who was the former
Jose
wife
Santos
of Jose
was down
Santos.
there.
Very much
Jose
involved
was
in the
down
show.
there. He's obviously was part of the local colony here during the winter racing meets. And it's a fine time. Hey, let's take our first break. Before we do, I'm eating my Italian wedding soup, which
How is
of
it, by
course
the way?
you know
Yeah.
it has meatballs and little kind of pearl pasta. And when I'm eating the meatballs, it reminds me that we've got a meatball competition coming up at the end of the month for our friend Evan Darnell and the Red Meat Lovers Club, January 29th at the Delray Beach Boxing Center, because it's a night of boxing matches and also a meatball throwdown. Go online to eventbrite.com and just search Red Meat Lovers Club, Ribcage Battle, or go to ribcagebattle.com to get your tickets. It's going to be a good time. January 29th, a Wednesday night. And next week, of course, these are the final days. I think things are selling out. Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Go online to vlfoodwine.com and check out what's still available. Some of the big 5 events, if you use the promo code Lunchbox, you get an extra 15% off. So go online, vlfoodwine.com, and click on the Wednesday cocktails, the Thursday night Asian themed.
Will you be at all of these events?
I'm going to be
Some
at many
form,
of them.
right?
Yes.
Wow.
We're going to be doing a special Lunchbox at Night broadcast on Thursday night at the Walk and Roll event. That's at the backyard in downtown Fort Lauderdale by the Himmershew District. Friday barbecue. Ken's going to help me judge that one. And then Saturday, grand tasting. Sunday, a new brunch event, which is going to be fun with that chef baker Nancy Fuller. She loves
she's
boozing.
so fun.
She's going to be boozing it up.
Is that guy from upstate New York, the guy that won the barbecue thing, going to be back?
Oh, Ed is going to be.
Yeah.
I think he's back as a judge this year.
He's judging.
Yeah.
A judge?
Yeah,
All right.
Ed Randolph, and he is
He's great.
but there's some great top barbecue talent coming in from Texas and the Carolinas.
Professor, though,
take
his
on the
opinion on
homegrown.
barbecue, I think, is
Yeah, I love that.
to be greatly respected.
You guys
I
are
mean,
tagged
the guy
teaming
really knows
the-
his stuff.
And
Always had the best parties.
and
Professor.
see what's available. Use the promo code Lunchbox at vlfoodwine.com. Quick question, Ken. I mean,
Absolutely.
barbecue's like pizza. There's all these different styles, and it's so subjective. What is
100% true.
what is your number one favorite? And then, but you can put aside your own subjective things to recognize good barbecue and what makes good barbecue.
I can up to a point. I will say I don't necessarily love the sweeter style sauces.
He's a
That
snob
I
like
am-
you in a sense.
I can be very harsh on particularly Kansas City and
Kansas
Memphis
City is
style.
too sweet for me. It's like
because it-
molasses
yeah,
in there, right?
I love
super
it, but,
sweet.
yeah.
Same with the South Carolina mustard sauce.
Oh, see, I'm a big fan of the South Carolina.
Yeah.
sauce.
Oh, okay.
I
'Cause
like
don't
that,
they put
yeah.
a little honey in there too with the mustard?
They shouldn't, but some people do.
Okay.
In terms of my personal favorite, I go back and forth between Carolina style and Texas style.
But Carolina, there's a big difference between North and South.
There's a big difference between the 3 different regions
Hmm.
of South Carolina and of itself.
Okay, because North Carolina is known for their very piquant vinegar-based
Correct. And
sauce,
so is-
and
So
I-
is the PD section of the low country of South Carolina.
right.
It's
look at
also
this.
vinegar and pepper.
Oh no,
straight,
he's insane. No,
Look
no,
at
no.
hardcore.
When it comes to
Hardcore.
barbecue,
no,
Ken's like crazy about
you
barbecue.
open up a
whole
can of
hog
worms here.
smoking.
Okay, so what's your
Western North Carolina and Western South Carolina, you get the mustard style, supposedly because of the German immigrant influence.
okay? Now,
a couple hundred years ago.
Do you prefer a dry rubbed rib that you then sauce yourself, or do you like something that's slathered with a little bit of
No.
sauce on the
Absolutely dry rub that you add your own sauce to.
Okay, is
good-
that do you
honestly,
consider that a basic
He's a purist.
fundamental?
A
He's a
good
purist.
rub is the key to good
Well,
barbecue.
I've said that many days
you-
myself.
I can rub it.
Did I walk into the Fox Sports
You
studio?
just did.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
no.
There you go.
There you go.
First time I had the mustard sauce was when I came to Florida, and I somehow ended up at the People's Ribs in like Liberty City,
Yep.
and an iconic place. I mean,
Yep.
they've been out of business probably for what, 15, 20 years, maybe.
A long time.
A while, but I mean, it was unbelievable. And it was the first time I ever had sweet potato pie, which I would have thought, wow, that's a definite negative no-go. But
Yep.
it couldn't have been any more delicious. But the mustard sauce they had there on the ribs might have been the best I ever had anywhere,
So he
anytime.
was-
in
he's
South
a fan
Florida.
of
Ken
mustard.
makes a great
That's
mustard
the
sauce.
Tom's Ribs mustard sauce back in the day
And-
when old Tom was alive was also ridiculous.
And at a barbecue event, we're going to see things like brisket. We're going to see
Yeah.
things like sometimes people do beef ribs. And,
Yep.
of course, you see regular ribs, spare rib, St. Louis spare ribs, the baby back rib. I mean, how do you sort it all out in terms of what's the best?
I mean,
That's
I
your
have
job.
my preferences, but I'll go and I will tell you that I find, even though it's probably the worldwide favorite, that baby back ribs are no longer anywhere near the top of my
No,
list.
the Danish baby backs are like a thing of the past. Somebody posted it from Flanagan's where they don't really do the smoking. It's like,
well, like I said,
Yeah.
worldwide, it's probably still number one.
okay.
But you know, again, because places like Flanagan's do it, and people love Flanagan's ribs, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So I'm
My
just,
personal favorite cut
Yep.
is the beef rib,
okay. Yeah, but it's got to be salted.
Followed-
and
There's a lot of fat.
closely by pulled pork. I think pulled
Really?
pork is the Andrew Luck of barbecue drafts because you can put it into any offense. It doesn't matter,
Versatile.
and it's very easy choice.
Do you like shredded pulled pork, or some places chop it up, like Dixie,
Again-
Dixie pig versus Georgia pig? One of them's pulled, one's chopped.
Again, pulled is the universal standard. Chopped is a North Carolina thing. I personally prefer pulled.
You guys
hey,
are
drink
ready
some
for
beer.
this.
He's
Yeah, you
really
guys
on a
are ready
bad
for
streak.
this.
This.
Yeah.
All right, so
It also depends what kind of pork you're, because a lot of people like to barbecue a pork loin, and
Right.
pork
Oh, yeah,
loin,
man.
no matter how low and slow you go, is not going to pull apart. You have to chop
This
it.
collaboration is going to be great, but will you get your judgment in time
oh yeah,
between the two of you guys?
oh we get
yeah.
we have up to the date technological methods to get our
And
votes
are they doing
cast.
sides too? Because I'm very
No,
particular
we're
about
just
my
doing
sides.
strictly
Okay.
meat. We're just
All right.
going on the barbecue meat, and again, that's going to be next Friday in a new venue right on the Intracoastal
Let me-
by Las Olas.
Let me
and
ask you one
it
more
is
question.
open fire, so all the competitors are going to be able to actually set up their
Which I'm
pits
stoked
and
for. That's so
do
cool.
smoking overnight, 12 hours, 24 hours.
Now let me
whatever
ask
they
you a
need.
question because it's a very hot thing for the last 4 or 5 years in the barbecue world. Have you had the Alabama white sauce?
Yes. Oh, I
And what
had
do
it.
you think of it?
I've had it 10 years ago. It reminds me of if mayonnaise
It's
and
mayonnaise-based,
and,
so-
and vinegar had a baby. It's okay on chicken. I like it on good, well, crispy white
Yeah, it's
meat
whatever.
chicken or even a chicken thigh. But I don't like it on any other meat. I don't like it on brisket.
Agreed.
Yeah. So, but let's
It's actually good, like you would actually use mayonnaise for like a chicken.
Lubie,
barbecue
are you
chicken
going to be
sandwich.
there? There's going
I
to be
think
some
it's-
collaboration.
I'm actually going to Paul Mercurio that night, so I'm not
oh,
going to be
I'm
there.
going to go too.
Yeah,
Did
I'm
you
gonna-
already comp freebie tickets?
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday.
well, of course, Friday night, the
Yeah.
place to be is the
The
barbecue
barbecue
battle.
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
and Ken, we're going to be hanging out with the cool kids.
Yeah,
and
no, I'm jealous.
eating and raising our
It's so much
cholesterol
fun.
levels
Now,
to new heights.
For people who are attending, so they know too. Do I need to bring my own beer, or will there be beer vendors?
No, this is
No,
a
no.
full scale beverage
Alcohol, all
and
that.
food festival.
It's really
so there
fun. It's a
will
good
be
time.
beverages available.
said
for your
everybody-
consumption.
Was a true barbecue man knows you have to have a beer to
Well, there's
fully
bourbon.
appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
I can have bourbon and barbecue. It goes.
I like bourbon and barbecue. It's a good. When I was in Michael Simon's place in Cleveland a few weeks back, that's
Mayo's a
the
very
combo I
quick
went
judge,
for.
though, man. It's like one bite.
Oh no, I know what I know.
He's porting.
It's like
he knows what he likes.
He's porting.
It's not even what I like because I take my subjective preferences out of it. It's like what makes sense, what's good, what's well executed. When
Agreed.
it comes to barbecue, you got to have the smoke ring, all these things. And I make snap judgments because
No, it's interesting
I-
to
I
watch you
think-
in that capacity. I really was.
as a food, people like sometimes have these scoring sheets where they're grading things
And they got
1
to have
to
a little
5.
sherbet after
I
the
take
first
one
bite. Get out of
bite,
here.
And because I know in my mind, I'm just trying to come up with a top 3 and then go from there. And it's like the Supreme Court once said about pornography or obscenity. I know it when I see it. Same thing at a food event.
Yeah.
I know a winner when I taste it. And
No, you were great. I mean, I couldn't believe the level of efficiency. I mean, you wasted no time. It was like, okay, I got a 6 here, a 7 over there.
Yep.
You were on top of your game that night.
And I don't like to be too ruthless, but sometimes if you see me only take
You
one
can be.
bite and I
No,
spit
you
it
can
out,
be. Yeah, no, you can
not
be
a good
ruthless.
sign.
There's
If
no
I
doubt.
eat the whole plate, good sign. All right, VLFoodWine.com. It's going to be a great week next week. Looking forward to it. The 13th through the 19th. Go online, get your tickets today. It will be a sellout most events.
You timed
All
that
right,
perfectly
take
to
that
going in
first.
the game. Okay, beautiful.
First, take our first break, and we'll be back with more after this on the Lunchbox.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30, except Sunday. Go to Looking for great seafood that's a little further inland? Luke's Seafood and Grill. That's Luke's with a C, 5511 South University Drive in Davie. Luke and Roxy, they're a great couple with great food. It's a mom and pop shop bringing the freshest fish and seafood to Western Broward. Some of the best jambalaya and fish cakes around. And Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? You can find his famous Scoobies, those sauteed crab claws, right there on the specials board most days. Oh, so good. So take a trip to University just north of Sterling today. Lunch, dinner, closed on Mondays. Tell them Mike Mayo's Lunchbox sent you. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Feel like getting away without leaving town? Then you got to check out the House on the River in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful restored historic home with indoor and outdoor dining right on the New River. You'll think you're in Charleston or Savannah. It has a gorgeous patio, porches, and private dining areas, and it offers unique experiences perfect for a date night or fun times with friends and family. It has weekend brunches, happy hour, dinner Wednesday through Sunday. There's also a high tea on Friday and Saturdays, and the popular House of Voucher champagne experience on weekends. The House on the River is in Fort Lauderdale's Himmershey district, just south of the Science Museum. For reservations and All right, we're back on the Lunchbox.
It would be nice to
I
have
didn't
that.
hear music.
It'd be nice to have
I'm
that.
so distracted with all the
machinations of the show, trying to get
machinations of the show. I'm
The goings on.
What are we doing here? Oh, we're back.
We are
Very
back
well
here at
organized,
Gulfstream
Joe.
Park at
Nice.
10 Palms.
Nice job.
No, I'm
We're
trying
all
to
Just
stuffing our
grab the ring
faces.
and go
We
with
will
it.
have a contest, I'm sure.
No, we're going to have a contest. I did want to get into the latest in terms of half-eaten donut, cookies, and pastries in the Gulfstream Park
Oh, no.
press
What'd you do
office.
now?
No, this was shocking. Last week, I kind of pulled a real, what would you call it?
Schmendrick move.
Schmendrick move, where I know how much it angers some of the people in the press box here when you leave a half-cut donut in the box, because I saw once Eddie Gray, former Boston Herald horse racing writer who now works for the publicity department here at Gulfstream, threw such a fit. I'd never seen somebody. Basically, I cut a donut in half because I didn't want the full donut. I didn't touch it with my fingers.
You did it with a
left
knife.
the other half, and he slam dunks it into the garbage. Now, last week,
And he's from the Boston Herald, you said?
yeah, he used to work at the Boston Herald.
So the only thing he hates more than half-eaten donuts is black coaches.
Ah,
There's
now,
something.
now.
Professor,
There's
yeah.
something. You know that.
Ed Gray is a really good individual. He's also a trailblazer as one of the first sports writers to come out in terms of.
So he's open-minded.
Yeah, he's open-minded.
So there you go. He's the good one.
we
How'd
love.
you get on this?
I don't even know, but Eddie
Anyway, so
doesn't
what'd you
like
do? So what
half-eaten pastries.
Okay.
Last week I go into the press box, nobody's in there, and there was some Cuban pastries, and I cut one of them in half and left the other half. But as it turns out, Eddie is on a little bit of injured reserve now, so he's going to be out for a few weeks. So anyway, I go into the press box today. I open up. There's a box of crumble cookies, which I hate, by the way. I hate crumble. I like blueprint cookies.
Okay.
I like midnight owl cookies.
An hour or so.
I think crumble are overly sweet. They're
Okay.
Oh, the
overly
company
large.
crumble. Yeah, they're
They're
Yeah, you know when they do
$5
the
a
fancy cookie, but
cookie.
there's different kinds of people that do fancy cookies.
But I open up this box of crumble cookies, and what do I see?
Half.
A cookie cut in half that's left in the box. I said, "What's going on?" And then Dave Joseph explained to me that anything goes now because Eddie is out for a few weeks. So they've been going just hog wild down there. Ron Nicoletti is cutting things in half and leaving it in the box. Meanwhile, I hate crumble so much. I didn't even take a half or a quarter or a crumb of crumble. Have you tried Andy's fancy cookies? Anybody here?
Yeah,
on the panel?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've had crumble.
Okay. So we went to the Gilbert's hamburger event,
Gilbert's has good cookies.
With
and
the
they
beast,
gave out Night Owl.
Night Owls has good.
Oh,
Andrew,
Night
really
Owl,
good guy.
Night Owl.
Not,
I don't
not
know
Midnight
what
Owl.
I don't
Yeah.
know what Night Owl called them, but everywhere else they're known as garbage can cookies, where you just throw the whole kitchen sink into the cookies and you get pretzels and it was fantastic.
Yeah, Night Owl. Okay, I misspoke. Midnight something cookies I don't like, but Night Owl, who was the original one, Andrew was his name, and he was at the South Beach Food and Wine Festival for a long time, but he's grown that brand beautifully, and he makes really good product.
Anyway,
And-
so I went out to the one in Coconut Creek.
Yep.
And
Oh, you did?
I bought a dozen of them.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
well, that's
And
good.
they were
They
pretty
were
much
fantastic.
all fantastic.
They were
Although,
fantastic.
unfortunately, the garbage can ones were exclusive, I guess, to that event because I've never seen them back on the
Yeah,
menu.
they don't sell
So I was, I'm a fan of Night Owl cookies. I'm also a fan of what's called now Blueprint cookies. It used to be known as Batch Cookie Company,
Okay.
Max Santiago, but there was a little lawsuit by
Wait, is
another
that the one
place.
Beast? Is that the one that's Beast?
No,
Oh, those are
but-
donuts. Those
but,
are donuts. Those are
that was maxed out donuts, but no, it's now Blueprint cookies. Because again, when somebody's already established a name like Batch, like our friends at Batch,
So you want to do
you
your
want to
thing.
protect that brand. So it's now known as the Blueprint cookies. Those are very good. Those are my two favorite
Where are
cookies.
those located?
If anything, they're all over.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's one in Flagler Village, right around the corner from our friend Reno at Heritage. There
Okay.
is a Blueprint cookie there, and those are also very good. I don't know if any cookie's worth $5 a cookie. But now we go to our next topic, which is coming up to National Hot Pastrami
Man, do I love a
Day.
good
That's going to be
pastrami.
on the 14th.
That's a day.
That is now going to be
Oh
in
my
play in our contest. But before we get to the contest, you had a question for me before the show.
I actually saw a video recently where they were celebrating the food of, I think it was Montreal, and they were talking about the smoked meat. And so I watched a video of them making the smoked meat, and I'm like, that's pastrami. And so I asked you, is smoked meat just the rip-off word they use for pastrami in Canada? Because Canada doesn't have any of its own food. It just
They
steals
have
other cultures'
poutine.
food.
They have Canadian bacon. They have many. They have Moosehead and Labatt's, which I guess lager
Or
up there is
rip-off
considered a
Belgian
food
beers.
group.
Tim Hortons, which is supposedly coffee.
Tim Hortons. But no, there is a subtle difference between smoked meat, which is seen in Montreal, and some people call it Montreal smoked meat. And the definitive iconic place is called Schwartz's, where I've been. And then pastrami, again, made from the navel of, the brisket cut. Both of them are, brined and smoked and, all that stuff. Just subtle difference in the spicing. I think
Like the pepper edge that you'll see.
I think pastrami has a little bit more pepper and coriander. And I think the smoked meat has maybe a little bit more garlic. And you were saying maybe some of the star anise.
Yeah, they went pretty heavy in that in the one I watched.
Yeah. So I think subtle spice differences, but basically the same product. It's kind of, some people, don't really even can tell a difference, which is where it brings me to last night. I went to the Etna Rosso, where I is knocked off one of my 5 restaurants that I want to go to this year.
Nice.
We had a late change yesterday because somebody we were supposed to go to dinner with was a late scratch. And so we scratched going to check out this new Elba Mediterranean restaurant down near Las Olas. Instead, I said to Val, let's check out one of my 5, because I drove past it like 5 times yesterday when we went to the show at Even Keel. Etna Rosso is in that neighborhood right on the Galt, close to our friends at Casa Calabria, close to our friends at Fishtails. But it's a cozy little spot.
Okay, but what made you said it's Sicilian, like Italian?
Yes,
Like
well,
what's
the
Sicilian?
owners and the chef, the guy who runs it is a guy named Luca. I got his whole story. He started as a bakery in that same spot.
Oh, nice.
And then COVID came along, and instead of he started selling more kinds of hot prepared items. And then when they reopened after COVID, he rebranded. It used to be known as the Bake Bar. Now it's known as the Etna Rosso since like 2020 or 2021. And cozy little like 10 table spot indoors, a couple tables outdoors. I love the vibe in there. It's just that it's one of those kind of specialized menus where a lot of their sauces contain carrots, which, as we know, is it's an allergen for one of us. So they tried to prepare a couple of special things. But we had a risotto dish last night. They said with cuttlefish and black ink, and it was a delicious dish. But as we're eating it, and it was supposed to be with pancetta. We get the dish and we start eating it. First of all, it looks like just very well done strips of bacon and not pancetta on it.
Okay.
Now you can tell the difference too.
And then when we started eating, we said, is that cuttlefish or is it just squid? And that's another thing that has very subtle differences. And I don't know if you've ever eaten cuttlefish, Lubie or Cam.
I feel like I've had it, but I didn't know it was like squid, so then maybe I
very
didn't
squid-like.
It's also known as sepia fish, but it's not a fish. It's a mouse. It's the same family as octopus
I didn't know.
and squid, and it's very closely related to squid. Anyway, we couldn't tell whether it was squid or cuttlefish, but it tasted pretty darn good. But we were pretty sure it was bacon and not pancetta. So we were just confused about the whole like matching the ingredients to what they said it was, or
maybe the Roman snob in me, but I actually prefer the guanciale to pancetta and pretty much anything.
Okay, there you go.
Nice, good for you.
Getting into Italian
Going to
smoked
another
meat.
level.
So it's smoked meats day.
I just like the idea of eating pig cheeks.
The pig cheek is good though, right?
That's
The
what
pig cheek like the
guanciale
best.
is. Yeah.
Anyway,
like
I
the best.
recommend the place just because of the vibe and got
But
to
like,
try-
okay, dish wise, like what's a Sicilian?
Oh, so there's some items they do like a caponata, which is like an eggplant appetizer that is very Sicilian.
Okay.
They
Pasta, meat.
Yeah, and then the other stuff, the pastas, the sauces are all similar.
Okay.
That we just got, and they have some nice house-made fresh pastas. We got a tagliatini
Nice.
with a special sauce they made from fresh tomatoes, because their typical tomato sauce has carrots in it and all that. But
I'm just curious because I know my mother-in-law was watching. My wife has made it very clear to me that just because you're in Italy, it's not. And we've now learned, the north is more meat-based, south more pasta.
and
The coast has its own kind of food. Like it's varied throughout the country.
At the end of the meal, they charge you a vig instead of taxes. That's
exactly.
what makes it Sicilian.
Exactly. They have the bookie at the door. Eddie and Vinny come back from the.
Luca
guy
was
in an all-white suit.
Oh,
So I gotta have
the host and owner Luca was very hospitable, well versed in European hospitality. I would recommend it. I'm gonna check it out again. There's like 5 Italian restaurants within like 100-yard radius of it. So it always amazes me how that many restaurants of the same can survive, but people love their Italian food. So
There you go.
That is true.
all right, let's do a contest here.
Yes.
No, you know what? Let's do
We'll
a second break.
and then let's do a contest.
Yeah. Let's take that second break. But first, I got to tell you, if you want to have a delicious meal this weekend, Casa D'Angelo.
Yes.
Our friend Angelo Elia and Angelo Massimova at the flagship in Fort Lauderdale, right on Federal Highway, along with the Boca Raton and Aventura locations. It is top flight Italian cuisine. I mean, it is up here in terms of execution, finest ingredients, and they specialize in all the regions of Italy.
Yep.
House-made pasta, greatest fresh seafood, things from the north like the risottos. All the chefs that Angelo Elia has under his wing, they know what they're doing, as loyal as the front of the house staff. Tremendous service, great wine list. You're going to have an incomparable experience at Casa D'Angelo. Check out their website for upcoming events. They have all kinds of great wine dinners. It's casa-d-angelo.com. All right, let's take the second break, and then we'll do a contest, and then we'll talk some more with Ken and Defo. Oh, we didn't even lament the 7.5 that got away.
Oh, yeah, what they exactly pay.
That's why.
Nothing. $362.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
for a buck or for a
Oh,
deuce?
no.
Two. Yeah.
For a deuce. 360. His numbers, his birthday numbers, he loves his 7.5
Oh, of
box.
course, that's why it hit.
18 to 1, 15 to 1, boom, and he doesn't have it.
You told
So
the wrong person to play
you're-
their birthday.
your losing streak is now becoming
Rubbing off,
infectious.
exactly.
Wow.
We'll be back
I'm
after
a
these
virus
words.
like Dan Campbell.
Southern comfort food from a scratch kitchen, delicious drinks and house-made spirits from a craft bar, a great vibe inside and out with a spacious patio. I'm talking about Batch New Southern Kitchen and Tap, Fort Lauderdale, in the heart of the city at 525 North Federal Highway. It's open 7 days for lunch, dinner, and weekend brunch with classics like fried chicken and waffles and shrimp and grits, and creative items like pecan-crusted salmon and a fried green tomato BLT. And the drinks? Smooth sipping and so good. There's convenient free parking and a garage next door, happy hour at the bar, an entire patio, 4 to 7 Monday to Friday, and live music every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's pet and people friendly and with cozy fire pits for when the temperature dips. For reservations and more information, go to batchsouthernkitchen.com. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, and also now with a new location on Las Olas Boulevard. Those are my spots. Upscale food and a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. If you want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting, have I got the place for you. Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed. When people ask me about the best restaurants in South Florida, Casa D'Angelo is always at the top of my list. First-class dining, top-flight service, elegant atmosphere, and chef-founder Angelo Elia is legendary. The flagship in Fort Lauderdale has been serving the finest Italian cuisine since 1997, with other locations in Boca Raton and Aventura. As Angelo himself says, they have an unwavering commitment to unparalleled quality with meticulous attention to details. It's so good, with house-made pastas, pristine seafood, unique meats like elk chops and bison, and seasonal specialties including fragrant fresh truffles from Italy. All locations open 7 days for dinner, reservations recommended. For a special occasion or any occasion, Casa D'Angelo. Tell them Mike Mayo sent you. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk, and soon in Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for Sunday brunch and Taco Tuesdays with their $4 premium tacos, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and... Hey, we're back on the Lunchbox, and look who shows up.
There he
It's
is.
Joe Beja.
Joe
Natalie
Beat,
attired,
Joe Beat.
fresh for the new year. We, I guess you got mom moved, or is that still in transit?
No, it's done. Thankfully,
done.
it's good.
I
Very
bet
happy.
You are relieved about that. And
Yes.
you are
Happy New
also ingesting caffeine by the bucketful because you were at the game last night?
I was at the game last night. Definitely left as soon as the kick went through the upright. So while all the Notre Dame people stayed and celebrated, I left with the Penn Staters and got out of the parking lot on the turnpike before midnight.
Oh,
so
nice.
it was good.
Good for you. And that's
It was
nice
good.
to be able to be at a big marquee event. Exciting
great.
game. It was good stuff. Meanwhile, a lot of big stuff coming up here at Gulfstream. And we were mentioning it before that, well, first of all, we saw a parade of All-Star Hall of Fame jockeys downstairs.
Yes.
And is there an event tomorrow that's
There
going
is.
to be
There
up
is.
in the Flamingo?
Yes, I'm not sure if there's tickets left. I have to double check, but it is.
Okay.
You may be able to go on their websites and look up Jockeys and Jeans.
Okay.
It's the annual fundraiser for the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund.
Nice.
So that's why they're down there now signing autographs to help raise money. And then
How late
Where-
are they there till today? Do you know? I didn't know. I thought it was
think
like
it's till-
2 o'clock.
Yeah, I think it's 2 or 3
Yeah.
o'clock today that they're out there.
Yeah, and then tomorrow they'll be upstairs, and if again more fundraising for a worthy cause, but a lot of other things coming up. Pegasus Day,
Pegasus, we are in full Pegasus mode. So Saturday the 25th.
2 weeks from tomorrow.
That is correct. So if you can go on our website, the www.gulfstreampark.com, and click on Pegasus. There's also a Pegasus World Cup website. So there's other opportunities to get tickets. We do have quite a few tickets available, depending on the price points. You know, general admission tickets start at $75. We have general admission tickets that include beer and wine for
nice.
$125.
Okay, that's not a bad deal.
It's Pegasus.
I think I could drink $50 worth of beer. I know
Yep.
Ken could
Yeah.
probably
Oh, yeah.
100%
just
beer. Yeah.
put a hurting on the
No
house.
question.
So yeah, and then 10 Palms, I believe tickets start at about $5,
Okay.
and that includes buffet all day, and tables, obviously table site service, and
It's premier food.
Correct.
and
What is that
also-
day?
Now, where
Like,
do the
for
really
you-
fancy people go? The movie stars and whatnot who come to that. What level are they
Is
on?
that outside? Is that?
there's two levels for that. So we
Okay.
do upstairs in the Flamingo room. We have Brian Newman, who is the band leader for Lady Gaga, is jazz performer. He's up there performing, and we have the food is catered by Groot Hospitality. All his popular restaurants in Miami are each doing various stations like Poppy Steak and Komodo and so forth. So that'll be upstairs. And then out at the Carousel Club, doors will open at 10 o'clock. Ticket price includes open bar and unlimited food.
Ooh.
But ticket prices start at $5.25.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's
So-
Fulvio Sardelli? Is he?
And Fulvio Sardelli is actually right where we're sitting right now. That'll be for the owners and the trainers.
Oh, he's for
so,
the
so he does family style 4-course Italian meal for our horse owners.
for the VIPs
Yes.
and the horse owners. Okay, got it. It's
But-
going to be a spectacular day.
But our Carousel Club with that is after the concerts, we have after the racing, we'll have a concert that has Diplo, and it'll have coffee black, or is it black coffee?
I don't even know. I
Sorry.
drink black coffee,
I know
but I
that.
don't
Blow.
listen
like
to
that.
Coffee
it.
black.
So
Black coffee.
Black coffee. It is
Okay.
black coffee.
So that ticket for Carousel Club includes the concert afterwards?
Yes, it does.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
It does.
it's an all day and night affair with open bar. Please make sure you have the Uber and Lyft apps installed
Yes.
on your phone.
Open bar at 10 a.m. and then there's a concert after the race.
Are there
Yeah.
couches
That could
and
get
or
dangerous.
cots? Yes.
Yes.
So
All
what
right.
is your?
And wait.
I know we're gonna move on. Okay, go on.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to get the Taste of the Track then returns pretty much the
Correct.
following week.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
That
'cause
returns on February 1st
I
for Holy
missed
Bowl.
these tastes of the track.
So
And it's going to be tacos tequila.
tacos and tequila.
Nice.
VIP
Really
will
solid.
be at 12 noon as always. Ticket price for this year, 2025 pricing is 95 for
Okay.
VIP and 70 for GA.
Okay.
But it is also because it's on a big race day. So we do have Holy Bull that
Oh,
particular
yeah,
day.
Holy Bull, yeah.
So,
Right, it's
but you know,
the-
tacos and tequila is always one of our
Nothing
most
The
Oh,
popular.
road
yeah.
to the Florida
Was it last
Derby
year or 2
and
years ago we
Triple
went there?
Crown.
We went
begins.
last year to it. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely worth the VIP because they break out a few bottles of tequila that you might not
That
get
is
with
correct.
the general admission.
Yeah, we've already brought in La El Cielo by Patron, and we have the Don Julio higher end. Casamigos will be here for that particular day. Casa Noble. So we already reached out to quite
First
a few.
class stuff because
high-end
it is the
tequilas.
premier winter meat, and you got again first class horses,
Yep.
first class hospitality, food and beverage, and all these events.
Yes.
Gulfstreampark.com is the website. Are you ready for a contest?
No, we haven't
Joe?
even
I am.
started it. Let's
Okay.
get going.
Because
Here we go.
basically, well, first before we get into it, because it matches. But do you know the difference between pastrami and smoked meat, Montreal smoked meat?
No.
Okay, it's basically the same thing. And
Have you had
just-
this? Have you
have you ever had
smoked
Montreal smoked meat? Have you been
No,
to Montreal? Okay.
I have not.
Schwartz is very similar to pastrami. It's just a little bit of a different flavor, spice profile rub around it, but same cut of meat and everything like that. But that brings us into today's contest because we're celebrating National Hot Pastrami Day on the 14th, which is a couple of days away. But I
Is it
figure,
Tuesday?
the group and this crowd always goes crazy for a good pastrami sandwich.
Oh, I
and-
wonder if it's going to be the place I'm thinking of.
No, it's probably not, but we'll
Okay.
see. All right, so here we go. You got three parts to this. Can't believe we've been doing this over 2 years, and we got all these great winners coming in
And he still
redeeming
smiles when he
prizes.
sees us. So
I
that's
know.
Yeah.
But again, it's a great way to expose people to the fact that you got this great buffet going on the weekends
Yes.
at 10 Palms,
Yeah,
both
yeah.
Saturday and
Yes.
Sunday. And
We've had a lot of return people. A lot of people come and
Yeah.
then they're like, "Oh, geez, I didn't know they do anything
It's
like this at a track." Like,
affordably priced. What's the rate now?
It's 55.
Oh, same.
55. You held the line.
I held the line.
No
so
inflation
far.
here going
Not
into
yet.
2025. So
He's doing
that's
his best.
good. And again,
Doing my best.
had a
Chef
fantastic
Jason's doing his
time.
best.
Came with
Yeah,
my
Chef Jason's
daughter
kicking
for
butt.
the special New Year's Day buffet, and that was great. Available. And again, this for people when you have guests coming in from out of town, and I always get the queries on Let's Eat South
Yeah.
Florida. Where should we go for Sunday brunch? And I say,
Yeah.
come on out to the track because it's the one brunch where you might end up not only not paying for it, but having more money in your pocket, meaning you can win money at the track and pay for the brunch and come home with money left in your pocket, which is exactly what happened to
Well,
me
again,
when
we
I came
talk
with
about
my
this.
daughter.
They
So,
don't monitor you. There's no time limit, which has
No.
become a big thing at especially brunches.
Yes.
Like you do vary the food enough where you can have multiple meals. There's stuff to do all day. The kids, our friends have come with kids. Val's grandkids, they have a blast. So
We
the
had
whole
an ice-
family can
yeah.
come.
We had an ice cream bar now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's in the ice cream.
Oh,
flavor.
my
we're making
daughter
the-
loved that.
Yeah, we're
as
making the
did I.
waffle cones in house, the waffle bowls
You have the
in
waffle
house.
bowls
Like, it's really good
with
ice
all
cream.
the
Ice cream's good.
toppings. It's a
Yes.
beautiful thing. And speaking of kids, neglected to mention the Saturday, I guess the backside tours.
Those are back,
It's
right?
family friendly.
They
right?
are. Yes, they are back every Saturday morning. We have breakfast in the breezeway.
Nice.
It's $15 for adults.
Oh,
that,
wow.
that includes there's eggs, there's French toast. So it's actually a French toast bread pudding, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
That we do in house, and then we have hash browns and bacon. It's $15 a person. Kids under 5 eat free with a paying adult, and that includes a tour of the backside with
Oh,
all the
wow.
horses. And
Get to see the
This
horses.
Wait, what
year's-
time is that? Because Shirley's actually want to do that.
7 a.m. Right?
7:30, 7:30 in the
Saturday
morning
night.
until 9:30 is the
Okay.
last. So usually the tram tours are around 8, 8:30, and 9. So we try to do 3 tram
Staggered.
tours and
Okay.
staggered.
Okay. That's a
So-
a really
Yeah,
good
wonderful.
family activity. I know Shirley likes her experiences,
Mhm.
and
He loves
it's
animals.
great for kids. And again, visitors coming in from out of town with kids. Gulfstream Park is your one-stop shop for everything that you might need for your family fun. All right, so back to the 3 components. I'm going to give you a series of clues. got to give me the name of the restaurant. Then there's going to be a horse race that you have to pick the winner of, and that's going to be tomorrow's 10th race right here at Gulfstream. And it's a 12-horse field, and that feature race is the $75,000 Sunshine Classic Stakes for 4-year-olds and up, going a mile and a 16th on the main track. Post time scheduled for 4:48 p.m. Again, race number 10 on tomorrow's card, and it's a number from 1 through 12. Then we get to the final part, which is
What game are you picking?
an NFL tiebreaker. Which game do you think I should have picked? Because I'm sticking with the one I picked.
I would
The
say-
Rams and the Vikings.
I would say Steelers Ravens.
No. Well, I went 0 for 2. Packers Eagles. I think the Packers.
No, I
could
mean, these
spring
are
an
all
upset.
They're live.
That's
All these games are actually pretty interesting, especially now that Zay Flowers not playing with the Ravens. That makes that game a lot closer than
I
thought it
think
was
you
gonna
should have done Bucks and Commanders and then told the Peacock people, hey, we're trying to get people
Trying
to
to
tune
boost
in.
it.
You want to go?
Yeah.
no allegiance to them. So
No,
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 we're
that's
going to
a
go
no.
with Packers Eagles on
Nice.
traditional over-the-air Fox Network on Sunday at
Okay.
4:30.
Nice.
All right, are you ready, man?
Let's go.
Stretch this out. For this week's restaurant, we celebrate National Hot Pastrami Day with a historic South Florida eatery.
Okay.
Let's see if Ken was thinking of the right one.
No, the one I'm thinking of is not historic.
All right. Billing itself as Miami-Dade's oldest operating deli, this renowned spot first opened in 1954 near a racetrack that no longer features live racing in a city that is now more well known for its Cuban population and cuisine than Jewish delicatessens. Do you know it?
I know what city it is.
Yes. Number 2. The deli reopened in 2019 after a refurbishment by new owner Matt Kusher, but one constant has been Henderson Jr. Biggars, who's been slicing pastrami and corned beef at the restaurant for more than 60 years. The eatery now features Junior's Corner, where Junior can still be found carving meats in his 80s. God bless him. And final clue, the deli was rebranded in 2020 to reflect the new restaurant group's name. But for our purposes, we'll take any name that you give us, either the old name or the new name. And we'd also like to take a hot pastrami to go, preferably
I know the
sliced
new
by
name.
Junior.
I don't know what the old name
All
is.
right. Do you have any idea what it is?
I know exactly what it is, but the name is on the tip of my tongue.
Okay, there we
Like
go.
I know the history behind it. I knew about the whole
But we're celebrating.
Henderson's Corner.
Yeah.
I know
So-
the new name, and I enjoy the weed brand more than I enjoy the pastrami.
Okay, there you go. There's a little bit of a clue.
Yeah.
But that's the new name. And the old name is the name of my brother, too.
I enjoy the
Not his nickname.
pastrami too.
But that's
to
it.
be for the record. But
All right, let's take our third and final break, and we thank Joe.
Joe, you're the man. Happy
You going
New
to
Year
any
again.
other big major sporting events this week, or just hanging out with the horses?
No, just hanging out at this point.
Yeah.
Getting mom settled, and I'm actually in due of some little rest.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
Well,
the
Pegasus will be freaking insane.
the next whirlwind begins in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's it's going to be quite the day. Thank you, Joe, as
My
usual.
pleasure.
Pleasure. And let's take our final break. Before we do, got to talk about if you're entertaining at home, watching some of the playoff games and the college games this weekend and the upcoming month, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is the place to go to get whatever you need for your entertainment purposes. They've got great grab and go, ready to eat items
Yep.
like their roasted chicken and all their great soups.
And they still
turkey
have
chili.
stonies, and they have them of all sizes, which
Stone
is something
crabs.
I always haven't had.
feel free to pick me up some
Fresh.
stone crabs from there.
Yeah.
They've
Ken
got,
and his mom can vouch for
for
them.
those who are on maybe a tighter budget,
I've never
they've
seen them
got
happier.
great shrimp specials every week. That Key West pink shrimp is delicious. You could also get peeled and deveined shrimp ready to go for a shrimp cocktail platter for your party. Of course, they got great steaks, house-made sausages of all varieties, and poultry of, turkey,
and we were
talking
Talking about it the other
chicken.
day. I actually did go to, we can name them Publix or not, whatever, deli place. There was no one there. They weren't even doing the number thing. And I literally stood there for 10 minutes because I wanted to put an order for one of the round sandwiches. And it just made me miss Delaware so much because it could be busy, it could be slow. You're getting in and out no matter what day of the week, no matter what time of the day.
They are
you go.
well staffed, very efficient, and you
And-
could also call your order in advance and go online to DelawareChicken.com to sign up for their weekly specials and stay on top of all their latest offerings and news. DelawareChicken.com. When you go there, tell them Defo and the Lunchbox sent you.
And if your tastes run
Yep.
to the more exotic, not only the best, in terms of consistency, but the only place I know that always has game meats.
Yes, they have a whole
Yes.
freezer
Huh.
of it. Yep.
They are. They are.
And you can
locked-
order it too. You
Yeah.
can tell them something you want. They'll make sure they have it in stock for you.
But if you want gator tail or
They got-
venison or duck,
no, they're
I've
really great
always
about that.
found
Jose
it
and
right
Gene
there.
do a terrific job.
With fish, they do
Whatever
it with
you
fish as
want.
well. Yeah.
They'll get it for you. All right, we'll be back and wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox from 10 Palms at Gulfstream after these words. Fresh local fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and for the finest poultry and the freshest fish, Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, open 7 days. Since 1951, a South Florida tradition for stone crab in season, Thanksgiving turkeys, holiday feasts, and everyday eating. Great steaks, house-made sausage, and prepared foods, too. Delaware is not just a market, it's a celebration of taste, quality, and old-fashioned customer service with a smile. Sign up for their weekly email flyer at DelawareChicken.com and tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a great bagel with lox, matzo ball soup, deli sandwich, and rugelach, you know where I go? Grandpa's Restaurant in Dania Beach. It's a South Florida institution since 1957 that was revamped a few years back by a pair of New York bagel baking legends. Full deli and appetizing case with spreads, salads, and platters for takeout and catering. Grandpa's is near Federal Highway just north of Sterling Road, open 7 days for breakfast and lunch. Go eat and enjoy. It's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. For the finest and authentic Greek cuisine, Taverna Kima is the place to go. 6298 North Federal Highway in Boca Raton. It's been around for nearly 2 decades. Every day is a feast with grilled lamb and fish, house-made spinach pie and moussaka, gyros, traditional dips, mezes, with soft, warm pita. It's open 7 days for lunch and dinner with happy hour daily from 3 to 6 p.m., indoor, outdoor, private dining, and they are now featuring a monthly lamb roast brunch on the first Sunday of every month. So celebrate life at Taverna Kima for reservation. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox. We got Defo back. You hit anything?
I did love this 4-horse, but I blew the exacta.
Oh, man, you sound like me now. But wait, it says unofficial, but I don't see any inquiries
There's no chance.
or objections. Split is my middle name these days. I guess it's just one of those years. Actually, it's a new year. We're going to see what happens in 2025.
Exactly. Got a long way to go.
We're all trying to turn the corner.
Exactly.
Speaking of turning the corner, you want to go check out Tropical Acres
Yes.
around the corner from here on Griffin Road, just west of 95. 75 years in business. We've officially proclaimed it an iconic eatery of South Florida. Jack Studiali and family are also masters of hospitality. You will leave satisfied and full and happy.
And
And
did you go for the Wellington special?
I did. I
How
missed
was
out
it,
on
if
it.
so?
No,
Oh,
because
okay.
it was kind of one of those things they offered for New Year's Eve,
Okay.
and they still had it the following day. But by the time I got in there last Saturday, it was back to the regular prime rib, and it was spectacular.
As it tends to
Great
be.
value. Monday and Tuesday, half price wine night. The great happy hour in the bar Monday through Friday. So that includes tonight, 4:30 to 6:30, including half price premium cocktails, Belvedere martinis. Unbelievable deal at $8. And for January, a dry January, just make those martinis extra dry.
Exactly.
That's my pro tip for the weekend.
Meaning
Tropical
just straight
Acres
vermouth?
is great.
No, just make it
I don't know.
Dry is no vermouth.
Oh, that's right.
A very dry is when you take the vermouth and you go like this over your
Okay,
shoulder
that's
of the glasses.
I'm not a martini
That's
drinker.
it. All right, we got a big weekend of racing coming
Yes,
up.
sir.
Any other plans, gentlemen? Anybody doing anything? No?
Watching a lot of football.
A lot of football. Lubie, you and Shirley? No?
We're doing some thing tomorrow. I think we're doing couples therapy. So, yes,
Seriously?
100%. We're big fans of it. We haven't done it for a while. She has new insurance, so for being full disclosure, yes. And this was her
Is
idea.
this something you should be
I don't
talking about
mind.
on the air?
Yeah, I don't care. I've talked about it before. I actually am a fan of it. The problem is it's her idea. So and she's also used the term, I can't wait to win again. I'm like, I think you're missing the point of therapy.
I think you're missing her point.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be fun for me on a Saturday afternoon.
Really? Wait, hold on. She scheduled couples therapy
Yes.
on Wild Card Saturday.
Well, no,
Like that's
I'd say that's a
just
win for her
vicious.
already.
no, the games
That's
are
just
the
vicious.
games are later in the day. It's like early in the afternoon. So anyways, I don't mind therapy actually because it's the one
What do you
place where I
mean
can say what I
win?
want.
Is there a scoreboard?
Yeah, no, there's not supposed to be. She doesn't, again, and I only brought this up jokingly because I know everyone has a weird view of therapy. Actually, I think therapy is very helpful, therapeutic.
No, I'm a big proponent of therapy. As you can see in my case, didn't work, but
you just asked, and we're really doing that tomorrow. That's not a lie. So I'm being honest. Full
haven't you
disclosure.
learned that the way to get the win is you just sit there and nod and say,
yeah.
yes, dear. Yes,
We've done
I'm-
therapy. We did it before we got married, and we obviously went and
I
got
am
married.
sorry.
So I did a good
Couples
job at it.
therapy on playoff weekend is just cruel. That's just
That's
wrong.
my life. You met my wife,
I know, and I like your wife, but
Uh,
damn, that's
she-
just mean.
and again, she's mean. So,
Well,
Wow,
I'm
my Saturday.
going
Wow,
into hibernation and possibly a 48-hour fast because
Yeah.
next week is the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine
Yes, yes.
Festival,
Oh, geez,
and
it's gonna
that's
be a
going to
big
be such a big week of eating and imbibing, and starting off with Reno's
yeah,
great
you're doing it all
kickoff
week.
dinner. We're going to that Monday night at Heritage to benefit the Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital, which is
Great
what
cause.
the festival, the overall beneficiary. It is a great cause, and hope that you could come to at least one of the events next week. I'll be at several of them.
Yeah.
I
starting-
recommend the barbecue one.
Yes, the barbecue one.
They're all a
It's going
blast.
to be great. Grand tasting is going to be great. The weather is shaping up to be
Yeah,
great.
the weather should be fantastic.
So looking forward to Phil and Kate doing a spectacular job as usual, organizing and keep growing this thing, but not making it into this monster. It's the right size.
Yep.
Every event, you're going to be not waiting in long lines, not being asked to.
No, the size is important because the South Beach one has grown so out of control over the years.
Yeah. Those white tent events are
It's just too much.
a little much.
Yeah.
I have claustrophobia. All right. I hope you have a winner.
Have
I
a
hope we
great
all
weekend,
have winners
everyone.
this
Make some
weekend. We'll see everybody Monday. I have no
Yes.
idea where we're going to be. I just live moment to moment at this point of
There
my
you go.
life. Enjoy every empanada. Look, Ken left me one. Thank you.
Yes.
Going for the
And
main-
enjoy every sandwich.